This whole channel is about the fact that every modern parent should earn passive income from property. But what happens when there is a divorce that's going to happen? So today we are going to be answering a scenario. It's not a question. I think she's tried to put everything into context for us. And basically, she's going through which sounds like a divorce, and there is some property investments that she says she's got, but I've got a little bit of some concerns around that, the investments that you speak about. But obviously, what happens next? That is the question that we are asking. The question here is divorce and property investments. What happens next? So basically, what's going to happen here? We've got a situation, and we are going to talk about it. As you know, that I am out and about in London City. Yeah, it's been a great privilege being here. But I don't think that it's just a privilege. I'm extremely thankful to God for the resources that He has given me for us to be able to travel here as a family. Number one, it's not cheap coming down here, and then secondly, just being able to be out and about and see all of these things. For a guy like me, if you know anything of my history at all, this is a humongous milestone for me to be out and about. So thank you very much for many of you who have been able to make me to be able to be where I am, buying my books, besides buying the books, investing alongside of me, over and above that, just doing life together. So high five to you if you have contributed in one way or the other. But today I want to guys speak to you about it. So the Jacks are in London. So we flew via Egypt and via Cairo, and we did like a layover there in Cairo. It wasn't bad. I actually like Egypt. I think I'm gonna go back to Egypt for a holiday. I like that. It's just a little bit hot for my liking, though. But hey, that's what Africa is all about. So, guess what? All the ferries had to stay at home. So, none of the ferries came with us to London, but we did inquire to see how much it is to bring your family ferries here. But whoo, it was quite a lot of money. And we left it. It's almost like giving divorce papers. Yeah, that's how expensive it is. I've been seeing some cool real estate down here, some amazing block of flats, as we call them. And a lot of them here actually, as you can see there, there's got different colors, but actually a window could be someone else who's owning that. I was out and about, and that's me there. And my little one, she was like so tired. She's like, Dad, please, can you carry me? I can't walk anymore. And dang, 25 kgs I had to carry along like any other dad would do. That's the risk and the reward that you get to be a parent. And we carried on. And as I carry on, at some point we were hungry. And guess what I found in London, central London? We found yours truly, Nando's. Peri peri. We were like, yeah, let's jump into it. My family's got so many allergies, so eating out is a mission. And if we are out of the country, even a more mission. Jenna is the only person actually who doesn't have allergies in our household, but she's caught up. Yeah, some allergies, they are transmitted when you're married. Yeah, yeah. Of late, she can't take milk, proper milk, and now she has to take all sorts of milk. So welcome to the club, Jen. Welcome to the club. But as we go along, I've been seeing some very nice buildings. We saw the what do they call it? The London Bridge opening up, and it's pretty an amazing view. For some people, they say they've been in London for years and years, but they've never seen this, and we was able to see it. So an amazing moment for us just be able to travel. You can see there, me and my kids. Like my son, he was like, can we go home now? Teenagers these days with their cell phones and so on. Can I just go home? I need to be my cell phone. And I'm like, boy, this is the life of your time. You need to appreciate this. But I want us to talk about this lady here. She wrote a letter, and she sent it out, and she says to me, TJ. So we're gonna talk about divorce and property investment and what happens next. That's what we want to zoom into here. And if I go on into this conversation, I do want to say that I stand for what we are always about here, which is modern family. Every modern parent, be it you're single or be it you're married, need to own passive income through real estate. But what if you were married and now you have to divorce and there was a property investment? What happens next? This is a reality for many people. I do think that I am no divorce counselor. It's not my portion and my blessing. I am no lawyer. But I do think that in this here that we are going to see, there's lots of things that we can learn. And if you're a young man, young woman today, and you're not married, you can then say, okay, how best can I correct it? So look at it into those lens. And then if you are married, how best can you correct it? Because if you are to go into a divorce and then there's some property investments, what's going to happen? So this lady here, she's been vulnerable. She came to us and then she says, give me some help. And she gave us the context of this. So allow me to read it as I go through with it. And basically the person says, TJ, I'm a divorcee. We were having, okay, sorry. I'm a divorcee. We were having property investment house with my husband. All right. We were staying together after in separate rooms. Oh, yeti man. I decided to go out because he was abusing me and my kids, but he refused to give me some furniture. I went out of the house with my kids. So now, weekend, we usually go to do washing on my house. This is at the house. He doesn't have a problem about that. Yeah, it's his family. He mustn't have a problem about you coming in to do laundry by him. Okay. I'll come back to it. On Saturday, again, to do washing, I noticed that there is someone inside the house. I don't have a problem of him having a relationship, but not in our house. Do that. He decided to give me the washing machine. So here, basically, she's saying, not in my house. Look, this guy can't be coming in the house and having a relationship in the house. Where else should he be having the relationship then? I don't know. I asked him, why is he not respecting my house? Well, you've moved out. Anyway, okay, right. I asked him why he's not respecting my house. They both swearing at me. Woo! Okay, some Jerry Spring now here up in here. Okay. It's fine. I took my washing machine that he gave me. Again, I went to my house again. The lady is there. They started swearing at me. I called the police to warn them. After he decided to open protection order against me, but at court, magistrate didn't give me chance to explain. But the only thing stressing me, the magistrate granted a protection order. In saying that I must not go to my house until we finalize the process of selling the property. This is becoming a little bit hot here. Mind you, I do not get money from the tenants because my ex-husband is telling them not to give it to me, to give me the money. We have kids. He is not working, so he is not paying any maintenance. This becomes more complicated. I need your help before I can make an appeal. We are in the process to sell the house. Also, that worries me. Who's going to pay rates if I am not allowed to enter in my house? So they are going to deduct from my 50% rates because ex-husband doesn't pay rates and taxes. All right. And that's the end of this scenario that we've got today. Divorce and property investments, what happens next? She asked me for some advice, and I think today I just wanted us to unpack it a little bit in terms of what should have happened here and where are we. So maybe let me go back to a couple of slides right at the top, and then we can see how best maybe we can help this lady here. Okay, great. Whilst I'm having some good time with my family in the UK, others are in a bad place. That's what life is all about. It's not the same all the time, right? So let's start off by answering. I've split this into a couple of slides so that we can dissect it differently. Number one, I'm not a divorce attorney. So, lady, when she came through to me, I literally said to this lady, go and see a divorce lawyer, a professional divorce lawyer. I am not one. I can't give you some advice. However, we do know that in every situation in life, we can learn something. We don't have to learn something because something is positive. We can also learn from the negative. And that's what I want us to do here. So today's show is not to give advice to her. So do not write comments, please do that. Don't do that, please. None of you are lawyers, right? Not unless you're a lawyer, right? A divorce lawyer. None of you are that. I always say to people, let us give constructive advice and advice that is good. And if you're a professional and you're qualified in that area, even the lawyers themselves, they don't go out on public platform and say, do this, because cases are unique. And within the uniqueness, that's when you can wave around. So I just want us to talk about this particular property and this couple, right? Now, the first thing that is coming to mind for me here is that she says, TJ, I'm a divorcee. We are having a property investment. And this sounds like it is a house that they were staying in. So if a property you are staying in, chances 9 out of 10, it's not an investment. It's a liability, not unless it's giving you some money. All right. But I think later on, she does say that there were tenants on the property, which means that it could have been a house and then there's tenants maybe at the back or maybe shared or whatever the case is. So there is some money that's coming onto the property here. So for that reason, let's say that maybe it might qualify as a property investment, but this is basically their property that they were staying in. Now, she goes on to ask the question, we were staying together after living in separate rooms. Yep, if it calls for that, it is what it is. And he was abusing me and my kids. So I'm just gonna pause there. If your life is on threat, and someone else is abusing you, leave. Just leave. That's exactly what I'll do. I do not advocate for violence. So here we are all about building, making sure that we are making money and building strong families so that you can go on a holiday like what I am right now, so that you can enjoy life with the ones that you love. If they're hurting you, then it's the wrong thing altogether. That's not what it's supposed to be. So you did a good thing by leaving. High five to you. So now on weekend, we usually go and do our laundry there. I have a problem with you going there to do some laundry because now the same person that was abusing you, you're going there, you're seeing them. It's like opening up dead wounds, man. For me, I advocate, let's not go there. Right. Then we go on to slide number 2, and you go on to mention again. I noticed that there is someone inside the house. I do not have a problem with him having a relationship. Whoa! If you don't have a problem, then why are you mentioning it here? So I look at things on both sides. He decided to give me the washing machine. Great. So leave them. If he's going to have a relationship and he's going to be having the relationship in the house, you've moved out already, right? So move out and leave whatever that is there and start afresh. That's what it's all about. And I'm asking why he's not respecting my house. It's also his house. So, he could be seeing it differently here. Okay, right. Now, it's fine I've taken the washing machine. Okay, great. And they say they started, acting up, Jerry Springer here, and swearing at each other and all of those things. And now there is a protection order. Sounds like the guy went out to get a protection order here, which is now putting in a disadvantage because the magistrate didn't even listen to you. So it goes on. So the real question is here is that I don't get money from the tenants because my husband is telling them I'm not to give me the money. Yes, you are not supposed to be getting the money here. But I would also want you to kind of like look into a professional lawyer here because the house is technically still yours. And I'm going to start talking about, unpacking the problem here. So, or the solutions. We have kids and he's not paying for his maintenance. So here is my thinking here. It's a thinking, it is not an advice. What is the fundamental of the challenges that we have seen with this lady? For me here, this could be a man, this could be a lady. It doesn't really matter what the gender is or who the other one is complaining. The biggest thing that I'm seeing here is that the first thing is their marriage contract sounds like they are in a community of property. So now that you're in a community of property and you own these properties 50-50, and you're 50-50 at this junction, whether you are in the house or not in the house, let's talk about rates and taxes that you spoke about. Yes, you are still obliged to pay them. That's the unfortunate part of it. And because you're married that way, right? So for some of us who are about to get married, we need to be cautious of the contract that we are going to get married into. There are so many contracts that you can go into. You don't have to be married. You may be married customary, right? But you can also do a different contract, right? So that's the first thing here. I think that's the first lesson for me. The second one is that it sounds like this property investment, now that they're going through a divorce, and we're now asking ourselves what's next now on this property here, because that sounds like a bone of contention here on this property here. It's an investment of sort because there is money that's coming through from the tenants, but also she now also have another tenant who is her ex-husband who's staying in the property, and this is an unwanted tenant actually because he's not paying rent. He's utilizing the property for his pleasures and all of those things, but he owns 50%. So should she be getting 50% of the tenants? Yes, she should be. Should she be, you and your husband, in my view, I would have, if you are getting through to a place of now you're needing to do protection orders and so on, I would say maybe find a mediator who's going to look after the property. So the money that's coming in from the tenants now needs to come through into this mediator account. 50% goes through to him, 50% comes through to you. However, the first thing that you need to worry about is either the bond, if there is a bond, but it doesn't say that, or the second thing is the other expenses that needs to be done on the property. That's the kind of like my head. If I am in a good place, if I was the one going through this process, I'll be like, rationally, let's work it through this way. But it also sounds like, they might not be rationally thinking here because the lady also is kind of like hurt because now there's this other woman that's coming into her space and she feels violated, or should I say, she feels her property is being violated because this person is staying there. So first thing the first thing is the marriage, the way they are married, their contract marriage. I would have long changed that. If you do have an opportunity to change that, that's what I'll do. The second thing is that they have a property here that they have and it's bought in their personal names. I would even not even buying a property in my personal name. So because now the lines are blurred. And what I would suggest here, if it were me in this circumstance, this property here, I would have wanted it to be in a company of sort, right? And then in the company, you now have the company law that is governing the relationship. Whether you're divorced or you're not, it doesn't really matter because there is a company law that drives this. It just makes lives a little bit easy, right? And going through onto this here, I also want to touch base. We have kids and he's not working, so he's not paying maintenance. Well, where there's kids involved, I do think that the father needs to step up. If he's not working, then he needs to let go of the rental money that's coming through. But if he's not, then what? Go through to the maintenance courts, right? Go through to the maintenance courts, dance with them and explain the situation. they might see this in a different light. I am not giving you the advice to say that this is what you need to do, but I'm just saying that if I was in this circumstance here now, what would I be doing? Like this situation here. Remember, we are all about every modern parent should be earning passive income from retail, from property investment. This is your property investment. You should be earning this income. It shouldn't be going through to another woman who has not invested in here. You should be splitting this 50-50. That's my view. But your structures doesn't allow you to do this. So you now need a little bit of facilitations to do this. The other question that you then ask is that I need your help before I can appeal. Well, I did give you the right advice, and the right advice was that go and seek professional help. Right? Yes, we are discussing it here, but go and seek professional help. I like people that, when you got these problems here that you've got, and then you're asking other people, you're just asking random people. Guys, I think let's refrain from doing that, because these people will give you wrong information, man. What you need to be doing at any given circumstance is that when there is a challenge, seek for professional help. And when I say professional help, in this case, this is a divorce and a property investment. So go and seek a divorce lawyer. Look on the internet, look at the reviews of these divorce lawyers, or look for anyone else. Go through into a network of divorcees or single moms or things like that, or even just single parents, and ask them, who did you use for your divorce? Who did you use for your, where was your divorcing and you had a property investments? Did you have a property investments? How did they work around it? And with that, you can get solid advice from the professional, not from the person who was worked on as a client, but from the professional themselves. Because remember, you are unique. The circumstance of your husband is unique. Your circumstance is also unique. So basically, that's how you can work it through. So I'm hoping that I am giving you good advice. And the good advice that I'm saying here is seek professional help. None of us will be able, we will tell you general things, but none of us will give you good advice. The next step that you need to take, also that worries me, who's going to pay rates and taxes if I'm not allowed to enter my house? Okay, there is two things there. Yes, you're not allowed to go into your property, but you still have the ownership onto your property. So your liability or your accountability or your responsibility on the property still lies with you. So yes, rates and taxes needs to be paid. You need to pay for it, whether you have access to that property or you don't have access to it. I remember back in the days, they used to, a lot of women used to not give access to their husbands or ex-husbands or the father of their kids, but still they were liable to pay maintenance fees and so on. So is that good? No, it's not. All right. So I'm of the view that you need to have access to the property. But in this case here, this guy had been violent and so on. So do you really want to be on that property? Maybe not, because you've been violent before, right? Abusive to you and your kids. So do you want to be abused on this property? No. And it sounds like you're also selling the property, right? It says you're selling the property. Now, here is the predicament that you are faced with, my dear sister, friend, mother. You are now selling the property, but you have someone else. I don't know whether this guy has the interest of actually selling the property. He might not. So he may frustrate the process of selling the property. I have seen this. I go and buy, I view many properties. And you can see in some instances that this guy here who is selling this property, he wants to sell, but the other partner doesn't want. So I've been to another property where there was a similar situation. The one is selling, the other one doesn't want to sell. And they just gave us a runaround to view the property. The estate agent was there. There was a letter from the court. There was this, but this guy was just running around. First time round, he didn't have the keys. Second time round, he says the keys is gone with the tenant. The second time round, he says he's waiting for a locksmith. The third time round, he just didn't open up, right? As a buyer, I was frustrated and I just left it. Did it sell? I don't know. So you might be facing another challenge, and this is a soft challenge that becomes hard. I say soft because he may not say no, he doesn't want to, but his actions will be saying no. And then maybe the offer might also come and he might want R1 million, but the property might be 800. And now all of a sudden you're at a deadlock of selling. So they are the problems. So that's why I said to you, I think the best advice that we can give you is for you to go and see a professional lawyer and also speak about these things here because they deal with them every day. And you can get some proper advice in terms of what do you do? What if there's a deadlock now in selling the property? What is the amount that it should be sold? Maybe you can define that already upfront. So if we get an offer for 700 and the property is worth R1 million, we are going to sell, right? And who's going to accept the offer? Maybe both of you can grant it the rights to the tenant to say these things can happen. So there's many ways to skin the cat. But you have done a good thing to securing your health and your protection, your health, your kids' health and the safety of your kids. And now you need to navigate this. I think you need to move on. That is my view. My humblest view is that I think you need to move on. You need to start afresh. The furniture and so on. Look, I was in a relationship at one point and I literally left everything in a 2-bed, 2-bath. I left everything. I moved on. I started afresh. I didn't die. I started off with, what do they call that? I think they call it, those mattresses that you need to pump pressure in it. Yeah, I left 2 beds. I went to buy that pressure mattress and literally I restarted again. Years later on, hey, I'm good. I'm happy. Who'd ever known that I would have been in England today? So where you are today could be painful. Yes, we console with you. Our prayers are with you, but maybe move on to a safer place with your kids and just forget that that chapter has happened. Work through the process with a professional person and close that chapter in a amicable way. Give access to him for the kids because the kids needs to know you and him. Even if he's paying maintenance or he is not, it doesn't really matter. You are just building your kids in a different space. If it's contributing and if you can afford it, hey, just go off with it. So these things do happen. But I want to end it here today. I don't know what you guys think, but in the comments, let us know. Remember, you're not giving advice. You're just giving out your thoughts. You're not giving advice. None of us are lawyers here. And even if you're a lawyer, maybe just tell us your details in there so that maybe this lady can give you contact. I will personally, not personally, but my office will reach out to you for this lady to come out to you and engage with your office. If you're a lawyer, just give us your details. Divorce lawyer, I had this, I am so and so. And we'll send out the lead to you and you can manage and charge them accordingly. But as I speak right now, the advice that I've given this lady is that she just needs to find a safe place and a professional person. And if you got some other 2 cents based on your experience, let us know. It is I, TJ, recording live out from London. I'll be speaking to you later. I'm enjoying the deals here, by the way. The deals here are very, very interesting. But anyways, on Wednesdays, we will talk about some of the deals. But for now, it's been great. Let's speak again later on the next